Okay, I don't know if this is working. We're about to find out. Hold on. Hello. How are we doing? Okay, it says that the channel on there is going, so I'm gonna assume it's going, and if it's not, I'm not recording a podcast. I've recorded 2 clips now that were completely muted, and I'm like, that's not gonna fucking work. That's not gonna work because all it's gonna do is make me spiral, okay? I want to check this, but every time I turn it off and it is working, the next clip doesn't work. So we're playing a game of chess here, okay? It's a game of fucking chess. Drinking green tea. I actually don't mind the taste. If you guys are watching, or if you guys are just listening in today, it's pretty much a normal episode, except I'm going to be doing things around my home while I record. Because I think a big reason that I stopped podcasting is due to the fact that when I sit in the car and I yap, I sometimes just I think lose my train of thought and I lose where the episode's going. And I talk about stuff that I wasn't planning on talking about, which I know is kind of the best content to get. Content. I fucking hate that word. If you guys can't tell, I'm coming off my period. But I don't know. I just talk about stuff and then I listen to it back and I'm like, what am I fucking saying? So I was like, you know what? What if I get a mic and, sorry if my tit's out, it's not. This is duct taped to me right now. I have this mic and I totally forgot about it, but I used it for my 1 million video and it can just sit on me. So I'm I'm gonna fold my clothes, I'm gonna hang up clothes, I might pack a bag. I have so much I have to do before I leave tomorrow because tomorrow I'm going to Atlanta for a wedding that I'm just gonna do it while podcasting because yeah, it makes it easier for me. So long story short, my mom got me these PJs for Easter. She's so cute. She said it reminds me of Florida. To start off, we're going to talk about where I've kind of been, what I've been up to, what I've been doing. I filmed an episode earlier and I felt like I was being a little bit negative. I kind of just went on a spiral in my car. And I don't know, I don't want you guys to be my therapist. I know when I talk about relatable shit, some of you guys like it because you guys can relate, which I love that. And I love the aspect of that for this podcast because it's kind of how I want it always to be. I was just talking about in the kitchen before the footage was muted that I feel like the podcast and YouTube are the things I actually give a fuck about. I don't have to do them. Realistically, I don't have to post on YouTube. I don't have to post on the podcast if I don't want to. I don't make money off the podcast. I think we've been sponsored a few times, but that's it. It's not something where I have a contract signed and I have to upload a certain amount. I really don't. It's just been something that I've done kind of more so because I wouldn't have done it if I didn't like it. So I'd be lying if I said just for you guys. But it's just more something that was for, that needs to go in the dryer, was just for fun. And because I felt like it was a way to connect with y'all more without sounding cringy. With that being said, I obviously have been gone for a little bit. Reasoning being, I have kind of gotten the social media ick. And the social media ick is something I would never say at a table of adults because I sound like a 12-year-old. But what it is basically I have just gotten really burnt out with social media. And what's funny is when I took my first ever meeting with managers, I was 16 and I had a shit ton of people I was talking to. It was all on Zoom because it was during COVID. And I remember they all said there's something called creator burnout. And basically it comes and it's seen in every creator, they just get burnt out, whatever. They don't want to edit their videos anymore. Then they find an editor and they don't like the editor doing it and blah, blah, blah. Basically explaining the downfall of YouTubers because at the time TikTok was so new that YouTube wasn't or YouTube was the main thing. So they were explaining kind of the downfall of all of them and why they all eventually end. They all stop or they all don't post as much or whatever. And they were it's called creator burnout. And I remember my 16-year-old self sat there rolling my eyes being yeah, that's never gonna fucking happen to me. Never gonna happen. I love this so much. This is what I've always dreamed of. No way in hell that's ever gonna happen. Well, of course, sorry, my Like, there's a lot of like old underwear over here. Just don't mind that. Of course, it happened because, like they said, it happens to everyone. The same way you probably get burnt out of your job, or the same way that you get burnt out of school, or the same way you get burnt out of a sport, let's say. Well, I think the difference with social media is you almost reach creator burnout because, one, the job is full of, the main source is creativity. Like, it's basically creativeness in your brain. And then I think that there is also a concept of if people on social media are similar to me, which I would say a lot of people are nowadays. Like, most people are lifestyle, which is basically, it's about your life, where, I don't know, like, so you know how some people have niches, like, oh, they're a prankster, and like, you don't really know much about them. Like, even if they have a girlfriend, you might not really know it because you just watch them to watch their prank videos. Like, when it's like that, I think it's a little bit easier because you get to have your privacy and your like life is like hidden. And I'm not even trying to like, I don't know, I don't want to sound like I think I'm fucking Kim K, but realistically, I don't have a lot of privacy at all. Like, I don't, and that comes with what I do, and I'm okay with that. But it's like, let's say I got a boyfriend and I didn't want to show him online. That is then a huge part of my life I have to like keep away. And then I have to kind of be like, all right, so what is, like, I'm lying about this part of my life, or not lying, but I'm not showing it. And like, realistically, if I had a boyfriend, it'd be a big part of my life right now because I'm like fucking older, and like, I really think my next boyfriend, guys, I'm gonna marry him. Like, I'm really scared for that, but it's okay. It's okay. That's a good thing. But if I were to hide that, it's like, all right, what can I do now to like what videos can I make that aren't about my actual life? Like, I can't make every video about having a me day because, like, realistically, I have a boyfriend and I want it to be relatable, like my life. It's just fucking weird, okay? It's really weird. And I started just like getting in my head about all of it. And I got the burnout. Like, I got the burnout really bad. And I feel like burnouts before for me have been like, I have pushed myself every week to have a new YouTube video idea. Like, that was what it was when I was like 16, is like every single week, new YouTube video idea. What's it going to be? Is Cooper going to be in it? Is my mom going to be in it? What's like the new trends going on right now? What trends could we start? Just so much of that. And then when I kind of let go of that, like, I will say it was a little bit toxic in the beginning. I would wake up in the morning and think about, sorry. I would wake up in the morning and think about, like, I was immediately checking my subscriber count and blah, blah, blah. I think that's really normal for most people when you're first starting out. But just, like, I was so toxic about it and so whatever. I couldn't have fun with it. And then I think when I got to the age of, like, visiting colleges and, like, doing all of that, I started having fun with it because I was more open about stuff and I just wasn't as hard on myself about my job. And I feel like there was more, like, flexibility within it. Well, then I think it got to a point when I was, like, 18, and I would go to these schools and I would like be visiting Rylan, my friend at FSU, and we would go out and like the whole night, I don't want to sound like this, I was fucking 18, but actually the whole time, like, I would just take pictures of people, and I felt like a burden to someone like Rylan. Like, I felt like Rylan would get annoyed with it, and I felt, and she wouldn't, like, there was no annoyance in her at all, but I kind of just felt like this pit in my stomach of like, this is gonna get old really quick to people around me. And like, even my older brother, he'd be like, I don't want to go out with you. Like, I don't, like, you know? And so, not in a mean way, but he was just like, whatever. And then I felt like I would go out and I was like, I'm not having one normal conversation with like any guy. Like, there's no normalcy for me here. Like, it was just, and it's like my whole fan base was basically 18-year-olds at that time, so it makes complete sense. But I remember I got the burnout there and I was just like, fuck this shit, like, I'm over this, like, I kind of regret doing this. Like, that was my main thought at the time. Like, I was like, oh, I kind of regret this. Like, how is my life going to be normal, like, whatever. And I think that's when, you know, I then got a boyfriend and I kind of started hanging out with him all the time. So I wasn't really in social settings a lot. And I was kind of like, all right, like, this doesn't matter. Like, I have, like, a person to just like do normal things with, and he was kind of in like the spotlight a little bit, I guess. Like, he didn't do really what I did, but he was just like kind of in the industry, so he understood me in a certain, like, to a certain extent, and I had fun with that. But, you know, I was fucking 19 dating like a young ass kid, so we all know how that goes. And then after that, I lived with my parents. I lived with my parents at my parents' house, BFE, but fuck nowhere, and didn't really have any friends. And like, realistically, to this day, guys, I want you guys to know this, because I feel like to an outsider's view, it probably looks like I have so many friends. And realistically, like, I have a lot of people I know, but like, I don't have a best girlfriend other than my hometown friend McKinley, who, like, we live completely different lives. She is dating a guy who she most likely is going to marry. She doesn't like going out, and it's nothing against her. We're literally complete opposite people, but like, that's my best friend. That's who I talk to every day, and I'm grateful to like at least have like one best friend. But like I said, I like when I'm in Florida during the weekdays, and I mean, not the weekends, because the weekends I just go out, I don't like see anyone. I don't do anything. I don't really talk to anyone. I don't really know anyone. I talk to my girl Jamie at Starbucks in the mornings. I'll sometimes talk to some older folks at Publix if I have to get something from Publix in the morning. I then might work out. I then will cook some food. I will maybe tan if I want to. I will edit a little bit. No. There's a hole in this shirt. It's brand new. It's a sleep shirt, but look how cute it is. I spend the whole day alone. Like, I don't, whatever. And it's so fucking stupid for me to even be like, oh, I don't. But like, I feel like some people are going to get this. I do have opportunities to go like hang out with other people and stuff, but I guess just nothing feels like home. Like, nothing feels like home and hometown friends. And I think that's just a part of getting older, is like, you have to meet new people, and you have to realize, okay, this might not feel like my childhood best friend growing up. Like, it's probably not going to feel that way. And that's just growing up. That's getting older. That's whatever. I think until you kind of find like a boyfriend and your person, like, a boyfriend will probably always feel like home and your person. But like, I don't know. It's just weird, like, making friends as you're, like, an adult. But I spend a lot of time alone. I kind of do my own thing. And like I said, I have just had burnout. And I just feel like I live down here in South Florida. It's my dream place to live, and I've been loving it. And I'm so grateful I've gotten the opportunity to do this. Like, I've literally, since I was a little girl, dreamed of living at the beach and just, like, having my little beach life. But at the end of the day, I will say, people need people, and I'm a people person. Like, I like to be around people all the time, and that 100% played a role in why I lived at my parents' house for so long, because I was like, I don't give a shit if I can't go out on the weekends and have friends. Like, yeah, it would be sick, but at the same time, I can fucking live with my parents. And if I do have the luxury of traveling, so like, I get that it's different, but I lived at my parents last summer, rarely did shit. Like, I went to a few music festivals. I went to the Bahamas with Ford. I went to the Bahamas with my friend Bryson, which, like, I know those are like big things, but that, like, I wasn't like every week like hanging out with friends or like doing anything like that. Like, I just kind of did my own thing, and I loved it because every day I got to wake up and I got to walk downstairs and hear a voice. Like, I got to walk downstairs and hear someone. And I know people's minds immediately go to, Sadie, you need a roommate. I do agree, but also it's a different scenario for me to get a roommate than I feel like someone who goes and works a 9 to 5, because I film. I'm filming all my stuff. Like, I wake up in the morning, and if I go in the kitchen and I'm cooking, I'm fucking filming it. Like, it's just, that's how it is. And maybe a roommate would help, because then I would be like, all right, I'm leaving. I'm going to go film me fucking on a jog at the park or some shit. I don't know. But I feel like doing social media and living alone, I started just like getting in my head so much, and I was like, I feel like a robot. Like that is how I felt. Is I was like, I feel like a robot. Like I feel like I wake up in the morning, I go through my days, and I'm filming some of them, and then I'm getting on my phone or my laptop and I'm watching myself, and I'm having like such imposter syndrome. Like I'm listening to myself talking to a microphone, and I'm like, I don't even recognize this girl. Like I don't even recognize her. I don't even know why I just said what I said. Like I would try, and I guess I was just like forcing myself to do it because I know it's like what I should be doing. But quality over quantity, in my opinion. Like I would rather post stuff that I actually give a fuck about than just post something to post something. And I don't know, it's like, it's a weird scenario being a 21-year-old girl trying to figure out who the fuck I am, and also talking about my life online all the time of like what I did this weekend or what my opinions are or whatever, because in 3 months my opinion might be completely different, and then the next 3 months it might be completely different again. So I was just having major identity crisis, creator burnout, whatever you want to call it, that. So I had a talk with my manager, and she was like, hey, let's take a bit of a break. And I'm like, sick, thank you, love you, clocking off. Went off grid and felt great. Felt really fucking good. I was still posting like a little bit on Snapchat and stuff, but I don't really count that. And it felt good because I just felt like I was like unemployed for a second. Like I was like, oh, like I just like can do whatever. But obviously there's like, I feel like in life everyone wants to like find their purpose and have a purpose, and I did kind of feel like I had none. And I also feel like too, when I'm not doing this, I focus a lot on the wrong things. And not to like make this deep, but trigger warning as well for like eating disorders. 100% have body issues, 100% have body dysmorphia. I've dealt with anorexia. I feel like I low-key started developing a binge eating disorder. And I know that's like, I don't want to talk about that because I feel like I only really got one in the first place. Like, this is really sad. I feel like I've kind of had one since I was like 14. Like, I remember when I was 14 and I had like a really big obsession with like Alexis Ren. I would have a diary and like write down everything I ate every day. And it like would be actually really funny to find it because it was like horrible foods. But it would be like 1 bag of Cheez-Its, like 1 cookie, a bite of an apple. And like I remember I started doing that for a little bit, and I would do her workouts every day in my room, and I was like obsessed with like bathing suits and like what my body looked like at like 14. And I think then it kind of like fluctuated and I didn't really care, and then whatever. And that's kind of how it is now even too. Like sometimes I'm like worried about it. Sometimes I'm like, I don't give a shit. But this past Easter, like last week, I went to my parents, and it was literally Easter Sunday. I was in a great mood. I was so excited to see my family. I was like so glad to just be home and be around people. And I was going to be home for the whole week. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'll actually get some sleep. And I went and stepped on their scale, which never buy a scale. And if you have one, literally throw it out, because girls' weight fluctuates so much and there's no reason at all to focus, in my opinion, on the pound, because I literally fluctuated like 5 pounds while at my parents'. I was stepping on the scale every single day, but like that's how much my weight just goes up and down. And so I stepped on the scale and I was the heaviest I'd ever been, and I just started crashing out. And I was like, I've been working out every single day. Like I've been eating pretty good, other than the fact that after the bar, I order like 40 like meals or like whatever. And I was like, but I've been eating so good, and like blah, 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 like freaking out. And just like my mom was like, oh, like what the fuck? Like you actually might need to go to therapy. Like this is ridiculous. And the next day we went and filmed something, and my mom was like videoing me, and I like watched the footage back immediately, and I just started fucking bawling, crying. Like I was like trying to hold it together because I was in front of Cooper and my dad. Cooper's my little brother. And I was like wiping my tears away, and I was like, I'm fine, like it's fine, like I'm fine, like trying not to cry and pull myself together. I was about to get my period, but just like tweaking. And my mom was like, yeah, this is a fucking issue. Like, this is actually an issue. And it's not funny, but like, I like laugh at myself because I'm so dramatic. But it wasn't good. It wasn't good. And then that whole week, that was all I could think about. Like, the whole time, I didn't give a shit about anything other than that. And like, it's so bad because I let these things take over my life so much. And I don't know if it's my ADHD or if it's just the fact that like I don't have a lot of discipline in my life and I want more of it. And I feel like I need self-discipline in a way because I'm my own boss, to where I'm like, okay, I can sit here and I can edit, or I can scroll on all these meal plans and all these things and figure out how to get like super skinny and blah, 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 and like actually do something that I care about and that's good for me and whatever. Like, I get it so twisted in my brain. And I will say, like, the only thing that's kind of helped with it recently is, Ford texted me. I feel like God and kind of realizing like life is not about what my body looks like, and life is not about how much I weigh or how big my butt is or how little my waist is or how much I ate today. It's not about that, and it's kind of about what's inside. Like, I truly think some of the most beautiful people are people who do it through their actions and through their words and through their way of living versus what they look like. You can meet like the prettiest girl in the world, but if she has like a horrible heart, she's like kind of ugly. You know what I mean? Like, not to call someone ugly, but like, it's kind of just like, oh, you're like not that pretty anymore. So I've been trying to just kind of think about all those things. And yeah, I feel like with that, it's helped me. And my mom wound up really sick all week, which sucked because I was like so excited to be home and hang out with her and do stuff with her, but she wound up being sick. So I wound up then this past weekend going to a festival called Breakaway. I went with Celsius. Shout out Celsius. I'm not gonna lie, I've had Celsius like a little bit in my life, but I feel like I don't drink energy drinks a lot, and that was all I was drinking there. Fire. Like, I was like, these are so good. Big fan. Celsius Red Bull. Whoa, the competition shook. Celsius vodka, Grey Goose Celsius is what I had. It was really good. Also, I'm like into dubstep now again. Not again, but I used to be really into like Suicide and Ghostmane. If you guys are listening like in your car right now, turn on Suicide Boys or Ghostmane after this and listen. You're gonna be like, are you okay? I don't know why, but like when I used to have like my skate park days, when I would go to the skate park in high school, that's all they would listen to, and I kind of got hooked on it. And so Breakaway day 2, it's like an EDM festival, but day 2 it was like full on dubstep, and that was all that we were doing. So kind of got on a dubstep wave, and it was kind of lit. But yeah, these are just like things I've been dealing with, stuff I've been going through. I actually recorded a podcast in the car earlier about all of this, and I was like, I like got home and literally deleted the episode. I was like, no, I don't want to like sit down and complain. I don't really know if I'm complaining. I think it's just more of an aspect of, I'm just like in a like weird spot of life right now, I guess. And I think I kind of, when I don't like myself and I don't like looking at myself and I don't want to think about myself, like I kind of want to think about anything other than myself, but my job is myself, it's like a rock and a hard place of kind of just like, fuck, like I don't even recognize myself sometimes. And yeah, that was what I was kind of dealing with. And I guess it's just a little bit more difficult for me because in South Florida, I don't have people to like film with or do stuff with. Shout out my friend Sadie though, because today she was like, I feel like she kind of knew I was going through some stuff and she really wanted to get out of the house. And she was like, let's go take some Instagram pictures. We can bring like a selfie stick and set up a timer and just have fun and like whatever. And it's so crazy to me because I'm like, in my mind first goes to like, why would I take pictures? And then I'm like, oh, like it's my fucking job. But yeah, I don't know. I just like had like what's it called? Like a confidence stoop. It wasn't really even like confidence. Well, yeah, with like my body, but just like, I guess imposter syndrome. Like I really had imposter syndrome. And I think with the podcast, I just need to find a way to make this, I need to find a way to make it less about me and less about like my life. And I don't really know how to do that or how we could do that. Or if maybe I just needed a little bit of a break and now I can get back into it. I guess it's just, I don't know if I need a guest on every week or something. I need something that's just not me talking about my life and myself. And I don't really want to cover like media because realistically, I don't even fucking like listening to media. I don't know anything about media. Like, what's that called? Like pop culture. Like, that's the last thing I honestly want to talk about or even think about. Like, I realistically don't care. And that's just being honest. I like talking about like, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know. I talk so fucking much. Sometimes I want someone to muzzle me up for like 3 months and just like not let me speak. 3 months is a while, but like 3 days. I actually want to challenge myself to not fucking talk for an hour and see if I can. I talk in my sleep. I moan in my sleep. If you ever are in bed with me, I'm like, and it's because I'm probably trying to fucking yap. I'm probably trying to wake myself up and talk. I wonder how long this has been, because if we haven't reached 30 minutes, I'll tell you guys about how I took a plan B and how it ruined my month. Let me see.